example of a sales guy that they said, oh, this is like the #1 sales guy. Let's just have him run the whole team. And so I'm probably not going to teach you anything here. It's really more going to be about my experience, how I've leveraged AI, the challenges that came from being thrust into that position. All right, so my story, right? Now it's over 14 years in sales and marketing operations. I started customer service. A year later, my first company, I was running the whole customer service and production design departments at a website development company. I've really done everything from knocking on doors to cold calling, smiling and dialing, to now running a global team of sales and marketing operations. I was at Resolve Systems for a long time. We got acquired. I really became a player coach, and then I left for a year. I was kind of missing the cybersecurity world and jumped over to an individual contributor role at Reversing Labs. And then a year later, the new founder, or the new owners of Resolve Systems, were kind of in a pickle. My predecessors spent all the money, they missed all the targets, and they decided, oh, get that guy who sold all that stuff and have him come run the team with no money to do it. For me, that was an opportunity to come back to a company I loved, to really do something that I thought at the time it was a little bit of an ego thing. I'm going to be the one to help this company really get off the ground, and also to get the experience of doing something that I wanted to do. I wanted to run the team. But that came with a lot of struggles, which I still struggle with today. Delegation. For me, the whole mantra that, if you're a leader and you think that just because you can do it better or faster, that you should do it, you're the problem. You're wrong. You lead, you have a team, you have to leverage your team to do that. I struggled with that. I still struggle with it today, but for me, not being trained on how to be the global head of sales, I've really learned by failing, but then starting again, right? If I fail and I stop there, then that's where I am. But if I fail, I'm likely failing a little higher than I was, and then I start again. And it's all about just getting 1% better. Time management, right? Not being able to delegate really hurt my time management capabilities, and also working with a team across time zones. I've had to learn how to really have a healthy schedule. Sleep. That's important. Some things that I've learned, and this first one, being selfish with my time, this was one of the first tips that I got from a mentor of mine. Luckily, our PE owners are insight partners. That's how I met Bill. Bill introduced me to Yana, and I was given a mentor from another insights company. And this is the first thing that he told me: be selfish. And I didn't know how to do that. I didn't know how to say no, right? And so, in regards to delegating, in regards to managing my calendar, I was able to use some AI tools like Trevor. It's called Trevor AI. It's like Motion. Right, to block off my calendar so that I can spend time on strategy. I can spend time on analyzing. Performance analytics tools. Predecessor of mine bought Clary. We didn't really need it because the Salesforce package that we had all the same capabilities, but I leveraged it because we spent money on it. I was told that I had to roll it out. And so I was able to use that to analyze the health of opportunities within my system. Right? I was able to look at, well, when was the last time we reached out? How many meetings have we had? How many are we going to have in the future? Or to just at least give me a CRM score so that I can bubble that up. Right? It wasn't telling me, are we going to close the deal or not, but these leading indicators really helped me to understand where I needed to focus because I didn't have much time. Productivity tools like that. Really one thing that I did was and this is before I met Yana, and I think it's really why, Bill and I really hit it off at a Insight Go-to-Market event. I took GPT and I created 2 different GPTs. One was called the Resolve Systems Sales Process GPT, right? And so I trained that with documents, I talked to it, and I helped it to understand what our process was. And then I gave that to my team so that when I wasn't there, because there's only one of me, they could at least get some quick answers. We had the Resolve Systems Sales Ninja, right? And so that had a bunch of cold call scripts, email templates, information about our ICP, white papers, things like that. And so it was very customized. So it wasn't going outside of the box. It wasn't going and seeing what does the internet say about this company or about Resolve. It was using the very specific information that I gave you. Aligning across borders, coordination, international teams. There really wasn't much that AI could do for me here. But one thing that I knew, communication with my team was essential. We talked about SKOs, word of advice, have it in person. It's hard, it's expensive, but if we have to cut in other areas so that we can actually have the human connection, it's extremely important. You have to fly people from Barcelona or London to New York. Find a way to do it. We were using Teams, they made some updates, but people didn't like it, so they didn't like to communicate on it. We took a little time, a little extra money, and we moved to Slack. It was a little easier for my team, they liked it a little more. We can communicate. And then within Slack, we were able to implement AI plugins, things like that help the team to stay within Slack so that they can ping Salesforce and get information, and then they're in that place where we're communicating. Cultural sensitivity, right? I don't know. I can read all the books about how to communicate with people in different regions of the world, but I didn't have a lot of time to read all those books. So I was able to use AI to ask about those social norms, those insights, and then to customize our outreach a little bit from the marketing perspective based on that. Don't trust it 100%, right? As some of our previous presenters have shown. Some things that this did for me, right? And it truly was measurable. It was all about really 1%. One thing that my boss gave me was a metric that he wanted me to, or it was actually an OKR, right? We had OKRs across the board, and my first OKR was hit revenue targets. Yeah, I'm the head of sales, that's like my job, but that's not a good OKR. What should I really focus on? Maybe shortening the sales cycle, maybe improving the amount of discovery calls that we have with true ICP, so that we stop selling bad deals and that we can then improve churn. Right? If we start there, the trickle-down effect is huge. So churn we reduced by about 13% in 12 months, which was huge. If you have a churn problem, your company's not healthy. We shortened sales cycles by about 10%. Our sales cycles were 6 to 24 months. Right? These are enterprise sales deals like telcos and large BFSI, pharmaceutical companies. One thing that one of the leaders at my company asked me to do was to make it a less complex sale. Right? There's simple sales and there's complex sales. Complex sales, sometimes 24-month sales cycles. I couldn't make it a less complex sale. We're selling IT automation to the IT and network operations teams, the largest telcos in the world, who have the most complex networks. It's complex, but what can I improve? I can shorten it a little bit. I can do that 1% better month over month. It'll get us somewhere. Revenue, we improved revenue from the first half of the year that I was there to the next half by 45%. And it was through focusing on the 1% better in the areas that really matter. AI didn't really replace anyone on my team. It didn't replace me, but it helped us to amplify. Right? It was our catalyst in certain areas. I didn't have a huge team. I didn't have a lot of money to do it, to get the job done, right? But I was able to leverage it to get the information, to give me the insights more quickly so that I could focus on strategy. I've learned, and this was, growth mindset was one of the core values at our company, and I didn't really understand what that was at first. And once I did, it's really changed my outlook on the rest of my career. It's not about growing and getting a promotion. It's not about growing revenue. For me, it's about growing personally and also encouraging my team to grow personally. Within work and what they're doing, but also outside of it. Again, back to the whole I can't do it all, and if I think I can do it better or faster, I'm doing it wrong. I needed to empower my team to help them. And again, it was to help me lead smarter, not harder, to not replace people. AI is here. If we don't embrace it now, we will fall behind, because everyone else is doing it. We just got to do it right. All right, so delegating with intention, not just giving people tasks because they have to get done, but by personality assessments, DNA tests, to understand who on my team might be best for these tasks. And also what's important to get done. I'm not just going to give someone a task because I think it's on the list. Is it important right now? Is it a priority? Protecting my time is huge. I need to do that not only on my work calendar, but also I need to stop work. I need to disconnect. If I don't, I burn out. I'm doing a disservice to my company and myself. I think I mentioned the whole enhancing, not replacing, aligning roles for maximum impact. We didn't have a renewals team, but churn was a huge problem. That was something that they gave me to handle at first. And so I took a couple of underperforming SDRs. It wasn't just about metrics. You also have to have empathy. And so I was able to understand that maybe they'll do a good job here. It's just not cold calling, right? So we actually formed a renewals team for them to really help us with a huge company problem. It's definitely been a journey so far. It's going to continue to be a journey as far as just leadership goes. One thing for myself, I'm attending things like this, not just to present, but to learn from others, to reinforce what a good leader is. And I'm never going to get there to being the best leader. I just want to continue to improve. And so with that, I guess one question I have is, I think it's a little loaded, but I mean, who here has been overwhelmed by their talent? I don't need a specific, thank you. But if you think about it, what's one thing that you could automate, right? Automation's in my blood, it's what I sell. But one thing that you do on a day-to-day that you can automate, and could you use AI to do that? It's just something to think about.
Thanks, Mike.